What's happening, everyone? It's the Chicano Prophet here. Just wanted to hang out with y'all for a little bit while the weigh-ins go down. Looks like the undercard is just starting. Our homie, who we had a chance to interview, Cody Crowley's on. Let's see here. Oh, might be some trouble. All right, 145. That's interesting. Cody Crowley at 145. What's up, JC, man? Just ready to check out this weigh-in, dude. I'm excited about this one. I want to see how Benavidez looks. It looks like that scale they're really using, man. So this does not look like a formality. Looks like they're actually having to make weight right here, brother. So I do think it's interesting that Cody Crowley came in at 145, and his opponent came in at 146. Is this scale like to tune? I'm not sure, but maybe I'm just being paranoid. You know what I mean? Maybe to give Benavidez a couple extra pounds that he can make, so it shows up at 168. But maybe I'm just being paranoid, man. But I'm looking forward to this fight, man. Pretty soon, Nopal Baksayono should be joining me, and anybody else who would like to come in and maybe give some predictions. But I'm excited for this fight, and I've been looking forward to seeing the stare down and seeing how these guys look, man. Benavidez looked a little dry to me, man. So we'll see what turns out. Mungia versus Bivol, man. I've heard about people talking about this. Okay, so I've been on a cleanse, right? So I've been off of Twitter, so I'm not sure how much talk is going down, but I hear that Oscar saying like it could be a realistic thing. Like that would be quite something, bro, if it did happen. Shit, I wouldn't know what to make of that. I mean, I guess if Oscar just wants to feed Mungia to Bivol, but I mean, shit, I feel like he'd do better than Zurdo did. That's true. That's true. Uh, Benavidez, he's always looking dry. But dude, the thing is, like, he looks hella cut right now already, right? And then I don't know if anybody was paying attention to the press conference yesterday, but Plant was talking to some shit like, "Oh, I heard that you weren't on weight," right? Talking shit like that. So, is it possible he's struggling to make that weight? And here's my thing, bro. Like, he has to make the weight because if he doesn't make the weight, it gives Canelo the perfect excuse to just be like, oh, well, you can't take it seriously. You can't, do 168 seriously. So I won't fight you. So he has to make the weight. So I'll be curious to see how this one plays out. Yeah, props to Cody Crowley, man. I had the good fortune to interview him. Really nice dude. He's into spirituality, and his dad just took his own life just recently, man. And he just he lives a hard life and is very disciplined. And to me, seems like he has good energy for everybody, man. So I'm wishing him the best, and I'll definitely be rooting for him. Generally, I always root for the Mexican, but whenever my homie Cody Crowley's going, I root for him. Cody Crowley looks good. It's a good card, man, in general. Oh yeah, man. I thought that was great, dude. When I heard he was getting them on, man, I was surprised, just by chance, I'm subscribed to a certain amount of Spanish speaking channels. And when I heard he was gonna be on, man, I was pumped to hear it, bro. And you know what? I thought his English was pretty good. Also, I felt like he was dropping some serious knowledge on the roundtable, man. Like I felt like what he had to say carried some weight. But he also did it like with a humbleness, kind of like a Theo who knows better, man. He was just class, all knowledge, man. It was cool to hear his perspective in English. El Chido, what's up, A-Rod, man? I dropped a link a little while ago, man. If you want to hop on and give me your prediction, brother, please feel free to come chat and hang out with us. Yeah, dude, he really does. Um, that was probably one of the better roundtables in a long time, man. I was fucking really enjoying his takes, dude. I don't know what the hell was going on behind him. I don't know if he was like at some, like it looked like he was at Disneyland, like some theme park ride behind him or some shit. I don't know what the hell was going on. JC, you like any of the undercard fights in particular? Yeah, yeah. Out there in San Jose trucking, man. Well, I'm glad you're tuning in, brother. We're just about to check this out. Well, at least tell us who you got, man. I'm sure you got Benavidez, but I'm look, actually it looks like you got a prediction right here. Caleb Plant split decision. Damn, A-Rod. Well, you know what, bro? That's the thing I've noticed, bro. A lot of people are picking Plant, which is not surprising. I mean, the odds are close, right? We know that the odds are close, but I'm just surprised. Like, I'm I got to look at the way, and like I'm 50-50. You know, I've heard some arguments each way. My thing is, how does Plant offset the volume? That's my main thing. It's just a volume issue because Benavidez is just going to be slinging it, man. And Plant, like, I just don't know if he's got what it takes to overcome that. Yeah, yeah. Spencer Scrap's going to be good. That's for sure. Chris Colbert. Does he got a Mexican flag on? I can't tell. I got to see what's going on here. Is Colbert? I don't know why he's got a Mexican flag on. I don't know if he's trolling. I don't think he's Mexican. I don't know what that's all about. Maybe he's just trying to. I don't know what's going on with that. That's funny. All right. Well, I hope he doesn't come out with the sombrero tomorrow because I don't know. I think it's pretty tacky when fighters that aren't Mexican come out in a sombrero. Yeah, yeah. Last minute money and predictions going to Plant. Well, you're right about that. The line moved. It was Plant at a plus 270. Now it's Plant at a 260. So yeah, I think you're right, man. I think the money's coming in for Plant. Also, dude, like, what if Benavidez was struggling to make the weight, man? I think he might have peaked a little early. I'm not sure. I'll be looking forward to seeing this weigh-in right here. Um, and this scale is a real scale that they're using right now. So it does not look like it was a formality that they weighed in earlier, and this is just ceremonial. This looks like the real thing, and it's a little late. I mean, what is it, like 1:30? Shit. You know, I'd be curious to see how this all plays out. Colbert's got a cool hairdo, like that yellow. What up, Remy? I'm just hanging out, man, watching this weigh in here. Dude, tell me, who do you got winning this fight, bro? Does he? I got the volume down, bro. All right. So, yeah, right here says, I don't see Benavidez being able to cut off the ring well. He also looked very comfortable sitting on his shots with Durrell. Yeah, yeah. I think Benavidez is going to have trouble cutting off that ring. That's for sure. And Plant can move. That's for damn sure. He's got really good legs, especially compared to Benavidez, who doesn't really cut off the ring. He just kind of follows, right? Which is something that happens. You know, he hasn't had to face anybody with this good of footwork ever. Um, he hasn't faced anybody this skilled ever. This will be his toughest test to date. He's never fought anybody this close odds wise. And then you're saying that Plant looked comfortable sitting on his shots with Durrell. Yeah, you know, he really did. I watched that fight last night. It was hard to glean information off that because, you know, I felt like those guys were both being very selective with their shots and their hooks. Um, but I do feel like Benavidez is just going to have more action for Plant. So when I look at that Durrell fight, the things that I did take from that is, you're right. Plant is sitting on his shots more. Also, and this is something I've been thinking about is, dude, I'll tell you what, man, Plant, he really knows how to tie up. He really knows how to use his physicality. Like, I think he's much stronger than Benavidez. Now, people say, oh, Benavidez is like this, you know, he's young and he's strong. I think when they say strong, I think they mean like durable. If you watch a lot of his fights, he's easily pushed back. You can push him back quite easily. And in fact, if you start a flurry on him, what he likes to do is kind of shell up and then kind of take his tall ass to the ropes to lean, right? Like he's good at that. It's his own choice, right? But that's what he does. Also, when he gets tied up, it's easy to tie him up, and I see that he doesn't really know what to do. So I think Plant's going to go in there early and test that out because I think that he's going to suspect already that he's the stronger fighter, that he's the guy in there who's going to be able to clinch hard. And then Benavidez is not going to be able to do much once Plant gets that clinch in on him. So I think he might come in, pow pow, clinch. It would be ugly, but we'll see. Benavidez was getting easily jabbed up by Ronald Ellis. Yeah, you know what? I should have taken a look at that fight, man. I was going back and watching some old fights of Benavidez, and I didn't have a chance to rewatch that one. I was watching his Ronald Graville fights and his other fights when he was in his early 20s. And I'll tell you this, man, like Benavidez, he does have a skill set for sure, but I'll tell you, he still has a really, really good jab, nice and long, thudding. But dude, like a few years ago, I feel like looking at his jab, I was impressed even more. Like I feel like his jab has lost a little bit of its crispness and just pure accuracy and just timing, man. He could just throw that thing out there fast when he was younger. It's like he's still using it and it's still one of his best tools. I just think his jab was a little bit better a few years ago. But then again, he's been facing a bunch of nobodies who've been coming up in weight and he's been able to beat them by volume. Now, one of the things that Plant said yesterday that was a good point. He said, okay, well, Benavidez says he's going to break my jaw and blah, blah, blah. Like, who has he actually sparked out, right? And the announcers were having trouble actually thinking about it because he doesn't flatten people one punch KO. No, it's like a volume thing. All right, so Remy, you got Benavidez here by 9th round KO. Hey, man, hard to argue with that. Like, I'm leaning late Benavidez KO, but dude, I'm 50-50. I have to look at this weigh-in, man. I got to look at this weigh-in, and if Benavidez looks like shit or he doesn't make weight, I might go with Plant. But if it was Plant's best day and Benavidez's best day, based on what we've seen, I would go with Benavidez probably by late round stoppage or decision, and I would feel good about it. But I don't know, man. This fight, like I think there's some intangibles. Like, okay, I want to know about this new Caleb Plant. He's sitting on his punches a little bit more. He sure is. He looks good, man. And this is his second fight with his new trainer. He wanted this fight. Like, he's not scared. People are trying to act like he's scared. I know Benavidez Sr. is going, oh, Plant scared. Dude, if he was scared, he wouldn't be taking this fight. He seems calm to me. He seems confident. He might think that he could take Benavidez. I know Benavidez is confident. He should be confident. I just want to know if he's overtrained. You come in and you change things up, and Memo should be good for him, right? You would think that it's a good thing to have somebody so good at what they do, like Memo. But then again, right, like, my thing is like, if you know what to do and to come in at the right weight appropriately, and it always works. When you change things up, it doesn't always work for the best, even if you have the best of the best. Like, remember when De La Hoya came in at 147 against Pacquiao? He had like these top doctors and top scientists, and what happened, right? He came in all drained. So just because you have professionals doesn't mean it's always going to work out. If you change things up dramatically, like, that's all I'm saying is like he could have peaked early, or maybe he was all muscle too early, couldn't afford to lose any more muscle, and he's been struggling to make the weight. So here comes the weigh-in right now, man. Benavidez versus Plant. Benavidez has been working on footwork. Well, I mean, that would be good. But, the other thing, too, is I don't necessarily need to, in my opinion, like, here's what I have to say. Like, I don't think Benavidez needs to have spectacular footwork to be able to do what he does well, man. Like, I think he's good on the front foot. And I also think he's good with little back steps. Like, I don't think he's good on the back foot, but if he's being backed up just a little, he's really good at counter punching. He's also good at punching when somebody's on the way out. So if somebody comes and gives it to him, he could punch on the way out, and he's got that nice long reach. Is Plant going to be able to go in, pop, pop, and then come back out? But like I said, there's a possibility that Plant could go in, pop, clinch, move around. Who's going to have better timing, man? This is a great fight. I'm actually really looking forward to this fight. Yeah, the ref stopped in the 11th round. Ellis is a mover, so I need to rethink my prediction. Well, I hear you. All right, so it looks like Plant's just arrived. No, I hear you, Remy. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I like to bet, and I do see this one as a little bit of a coin toss, like 2-1, 3-1. That sounds about right. I think Benavidez should be favored, but this is a good fight, and I would not be surprised if Plant won. But the thing is, like, I just don't know how he's going to offset the volume unless Benavidez comes in flat. I think it's very possible he could be flat tomorrow, and if that's the case, well, then that's all there is to it. All right, so Benavidez comes in with his He's got a Mexican flag, and then I forget what other country he represents, but he's got another flag. Is it Ecuador? I think it's Ecuador. So he's got that going. He's got the fro going. All right. And then they got the Geico caveman dressed up out there. I don't know why. I'm not sure what that means. All right. So it looks like, let's see what's going on here. All right. They said a very strict 168 pounds. Let's see. All right, Caleb Plant's going to step on the scale. There's a lot of booing going on. Looks like a pro Benavidez crowd, which is not surprising. Plant looks cut. $167.25. Yep, he looks good. All right. Benavidez. Punches come from a low guard and leaves his face open. Caleb getting jabbed in all night. That's a great point, dude. Benavidez jumped on right away at the scale. He looks thin. He's ready to get on that scale right now. He's not wasting any time. 166 and 3/4 of a wow. 166. I was not expecting that. I thought he was going to come in bang right on 168. He jumped on right away, got off right away. Now there's a bunch of bodies around Benavidez. He's probably chugging water and shit like that, which would not surprise me, which is fine. I mean, that's what you do. Interesting. All right, they're playing Los Tigres del Norte. I like that. Can't go wrong with that. We're going to have a stare down here in a second. Yep. Benavidez is chugging that water on the way to the face off. Here we go. Here comes the face off. All right. They both want a piece. Oh, shit. Nose to nose. Good, good, good. Oh, all right. So if y'all didn't see that, Plant just put his finger in David Benavidez' throat, and then Benavidez got fucking pissed and then tried to shove back. But, well, I don't know, man. Benavidez looks all triggered. Now he's got people holding him back. He didn't like that, man. Andy lost that exchange too. Benavidez didn't get a chance to swing back or nothing like that. Damn. You know what? I think that's the other thing, dude. Is Benavidez going to come in calm, cool, and collected? Well, all right. So I guess it's time for my prediction, man. And Benavidez over here drinking some more. I don't know. I don't know, man. I know Plant touched his face, man. Shit. I don't know, dude. This to me, I think that a person could have it either way, and that will be fine. Um, let's see what Plant has to say. See, yeah, Plant's talking shit, man. He feels good how Benavidez looks dry. Damn. Yeah, you know, the one thing you can't take away from Plant is he looks confident, man. Let's see what Benavidez has to say. Man. Huh. He says Benavidez says he's been on weight this whole time. I don't know. He's got some gifts for the fans. I mean, good for Benavidez, man. He should embrace his fans, dude. You know, like they're both likable, man. I like Benavidez. I like Plant. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Like, if I have to have a prediction on record, fuck, I'm gonna go with ah, shit. I don't know. I'm all sitting here fucking just. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Plant by decision, only because Benavidez has never fought anybody at this level. I also feel like nobody's tried Benavidez's body. I also feel like Plant's physical strength is going to play a factor. I also think that there's a chance that we could see a very fatigued Benavidez towards the end. Everybody says, oh, Benavidez doesn't tire out, but I've never really seen him go 12 hard rounds. And if he's flat tomorrow, and that's part of my prediction, I have a feeling that Benavidez is going to look flat tomorrow. I think maybe he peaked a little too early. I think he changed things up a little bit too much when it might have been unnecessary. So my prediction is Plant by decision. But if Benavidez wins, I totally would not be surprised. Just stick to late KO, David. Yeah. You know what? Maybe I should stay on code, man. I don't know. I don't know, man. Shit. I don't know, man. This is a good fight. I told the people a week ago Benavidez was 166. Okay, you know what? Remy's always got the hookup, man. Remy knows what's up. He's got more inside sources than anybody I know. That's for sure. Yeah, that's right. Remy's got the plug. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. So you guys have a good one, dude. I'm looking forward to this fight. Shit, I might change it. You know what I mean? But I feel like I should be on a record, right? But I mean, it don't mean nothing. It's just a throwaway for me. Like I'm really looking forward to this fight in general. But I'm gonna go with Plant by decision. But if Benavidez wins, I'll be happy for him, and it easily could go that way. It's a coin toss type of fight. You'll know right away, man. If Plant comes out, and he's going to try to probe, right? He doesn't like to move around that much if he can avoid it, right? Because he's also got kind of a limited tank. Like I think he's athletic, but I don't think he likes to use all that energy. So I think Plant's going to come out in the center of the ring. But the thing is, like if Benavidez starts just throwing his jab with confidence, like he should, come out there and try to establish the front foot dominance. If Plant starts looking crisp and he looks like his timing is very good, and by that I mean throwing jabs when it looks like he's not about to throw a jab, and then just being so fast that, you know, if somebody wasn't paying attention, they get clipped. If he's got that kind of crispness early, I think it's going to go to Benavidez. If Benavidez looks a little flat, although I understand that he kind of comes on late sometimes, like I think if he looks flat early, it really could benefit Plant. Let's talk to the homie Nopal Boxayanos. What's up, Nopal?
Hey, what's up, bro? What channel's the weigh-in on?
YouTube, bro.
Oh, they don't got it on Showtime?
I don't know. I'm on the Showtime YouTube.
Okay.
What up, Team Batman Boxing? Who you got? Oh, it looks like he's got Benavidez stopping Plant. All right, is that early or late? What round do you got? Team Batman Boxing, salute. So what's up, man? How do you see this fight playing out, brother?
Me or Batman?
You, brother.
I just think Benavidez is gonna win, bro. But to be honest, I mean it's like a 60-40 type of fight. 60 for Benavidez purely on the fact that he looks like he's the goods. But to be honest, bro, he can still be exposed and be nothing but a hype job. You know what I mean? This is the fight that kind of like lets us know if he's good or not. You know what I mean? Because all his other fights were just, you know, they were just showcase fights. So
Right.
this is his coming out party right here.
Right. Know? He's never been tested.
Yeah, and he's okay and he's explosive, but all the dudes that he fights are all bums. So, you know, it's hard to say, bro. So I'm not gonna fall into that trap where I say that I know that this is how he's gonna win, stuff like that. I don't know how he's gonna win. I'm going purely off a suspicion that he might be the goods. You know what I mean? But he could totally still be a hype job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. He could be a hype job. Totally possible. We'll see, man. Like my thing is like, I was leaning Benavidez early, right? But it's like, okay, well, how would Plant offset the volume? I just don't see how he could offset the volume unless he looks flat. If he looks flat, then I can see that being a problem, especially if Plant can work that body early.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think I overheard Drew Evo say that Benavidez isn't good on the inside, and he doesn't really have to be good on the inside because he needs room to extend his arms. You know what I mean? So he's not short enough to be good on the inside unless he's going with it versus Tyson Fury. Then he'd be excellent on the inside. You know what I mean? If that was his opponent, that'd be his only chance to win the fight. You know what I mean? Going on the inside, but he's typically he's taller than his opponents, and he's got more reach and stuff. So he's got to give himself room, and fight at the mid distance. And guess what? Plant fights at that same distance, and he often fights on the back foot. So it's going to be a good fight. The other guy's going to be trying to chase him down, and we'll see what happens.
Man, that's a great breakdown, Nopal. I heard our homie Philly Irish say that, and I want to give a shout out to the other half of the shoe shine. Dave, what's happening, man? If you have a second, feel free to jump on. We know that you got Benavidez, man, but if you have any assessment after this win, you could let us know, man. But I got to say, man, like that's a great breakdown as far as like Benavidez not being that good on the inside. I was watching some of his earlier fights. Like, I actually think he's not bad on the inside. Like I said, he does have a problem when somebody gets physically strong against him. You can easily push him back. You can easily tie him up. But as far as inside fighting itself, I think he can hold his own.
Yeah, like I don't really think that he needs to be good on the inside, And the thing is, too, when he has to, he throws them short shots that look almost like he got crab hands. So
yes,
that would probably be an indication that he knows what to do on the inside. So as far as that whole thing, it's like he's not excellent on the inside because he doesn't have to be. He doesn't fight that way. But I've seen him do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it might even be unfair to say that he's not good on the inside.
Yeah. No. I agree. Benavidez, he does a lot of things well. Like I feel like his timing's good. Also for a big guy, like he can kind of go back a couple footsteps, kind of like the way Tyson Fury can kind of back pivot. I feel like Benavidez, he doesn't really do that so much like these days because he doesn't have to because he's sparking out all these underweight dudes, right? But he's not bad at backing up a little bit here and there, and like I said, he's actually not bad at punching when he's taking little micro steps backwards. I wouldn't say he's like a back foot fighter, but he's not bad at kind of taking a couple steps backwards and then to reset himself and to throw, and the thing is he just continues to throw. Like, just keep throwing the chingazos and he'll win. If he can keep up the volume, I just don't know how Plant can offset it unless he can wear Benavidez down because of something we haven't seen before.
Or if he can catch him with the heavy shots, a bunch of them, two of those, or like one, or if he lands on 2 or 3 of those that he landed on the Dog Durrell, then, who knows? I mean, Benavidez looks, he hit the weight, right? He's hitting, or are they weighing in right now?
No, they both hit the weight. Benavidez came in at 166.75 pounds. What's up, Philly Irish? How you doing, brother?
Yeah. See, I wasn't even worried about that because he's with Memo Heredia, and I don't ever think that dude's ever brought somebody overweight. You know what I'm saying? That's his reputation on the line, and unless he's super dehydrated or whatever, I don't think that that's going to be a problem.
I want to give a shout out to the Shoe Shine who's here, man. What's happening, fellas?
Okay, I guess it's me going to be speaking first.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Well, this is possibly the first time that me and Dave are on here at the same time.
I believe it is.
To grace us with our presence. But hey, this is actually an underrated fight. As people didn't really claim this as being much of a fight earlier, but now this is more like
check.
What's up, Dave? We hear you, brother.
But this is probably going to be a good fight.
Whoa! All right. I feel like we got Ray Charles in the house right here. This is probably going to be a good fight.
Okay,
of course, Drew.
Okay. Answer me this question, bro, because I heard your breakdown, which I like. And Nopal and I were both talking about how you believe Benavidez isn't the best on the inside, okay? And I want to know if you think that's how Plant will deal with Benavidez's volume. Like, how can Plant offset the volume that Benavidez is going to have tomorrow night? That's what I'm wondering.
His footwork's going to get him inside. Here's the thing: Benavidez wants to keep you at a mid range to long range at his range right there because he's a tall fighter. He likes fighting tall and everything. And he's never fought a guy that's a mover. He's never fought a pure boxer in his career. He's fought guys that kept coming forward, that like to bang with him. Caleb Plant's not that type of fighter that's going to bang with you. He's going to be more strategy wise. He's going to be sticking and moving around, creating angles, and see where he goes from there. If he gets inside, that's where he's going to have the huge advantage at because we're finally going to see if Benavidez can take an onslaught of a body attack. Because not a lot of these guys, really, nobody's really going to the body of Benavidez often and everything. We don't know if Benavidez can take body punches.
Right.
So we're going to possibly find that out. Most likely we'll find that out because Caleb does like jabbing to the body. He likes really putting on a body attack, setting up for those head punches. And like if you guys see the last fight with Darrell, this was his first fight with his new trainer. He was more going to invest into the body, resetting himself. If the guy, if he was able to if he got caught or he did not see an opening. So I really think this will probably be the perfect opponent for Plant's attack.
Okay, so you see him going in, and are you concerned about counter punching from Benavidez at all? Like once Plant goes in?
I think the counter punching concern would be with Plant because Plant's a good counter puncher.
So you think he's going to go in, let Benavidez go, and then he's going to go?
Yeah, here's the thing. Benavidez, his punches, his power is not on the inside. They don't have that. They ain't going to have as much effect as he does if he has them at his range. So he ain't going to mind getting hit if he's in the inside that much, but he may dip and be able to create angles to have a counter punch because I think the advantage of counter punching will go to Plant because he's much better with footwork. He's a mover and everything. He's a pure boxer. Benavidez is just a straightforward fighter. He's more like a one-dimensional fighter.
Well, I'll tell you, Plant definitely has a hand speed advantage and a foot speed advantage.
So I can really see Plant really being able to counter him and to be able to move around so he can counter him more because if he's in the inside Benavidez, that attack of Benavidez is going to be next to non-effective.
Damn. Okay, well, here's the thing, bro. I went back and I watched the Canelo versus Plant fight, right, to see what information I could get off it. First off, I forgot how good of a fight that is. Like, I think Plant does a very good job of holding his own. In fact, I thought it was blasphemy that somebody could have Plant up before the stoppage, and I wouldn't say I would have him up, but I think if it was open to interpretation, I could see some of those rounds going Plant's way for sure. Like, he was doing a lot of things quite well against Canelo, and he definitely had just excellent fast twitch reaction. He was not scared, and I was saying this in my assessment about the fight. Like, he was not scared to probe Canelo's physical strength. He went in there early to kind of muscle around with Canelo to see if he could push Canelo back, if he could wrestle with him, if he could tie up with him. Like, he goes and he probes that stuff. Also, he wasn't scared to kind of go in and kind of do like the sideways kind of Philly shell slip and slide type style against Canelo, right? And he was able to catch a lot of shots with his arms and gloves too.
Like, the thing about it is it's going to be like 2 or 3 rounds to test out what he can do against Benavidez and what he has to adjust his game plan with. I think after 3 rounds, you're going to see a full Caleb Plant game plan going to effect.
Interesting. Well, that's the thing too. Like, Benavidez, he comes out with his confidence and his intentions, but you know what? I'll tell you, like, Plant has already faced Canelo, and you know what? He was very calm going in there. I was really surprised at how well he conducted himself against who at the time was a huge favorite, was number one pound for pound, right? Under the brightest lights ever. Like, I think he's very well composed. His discipline impresses me.
Like that will really give you a point that this is a way different fight than the Canelo fight because Canelo is a mover, can be a mover also. He can dip his head. He's not one dimensional. This fight is more to an advantage of Caleb Plant because David is one dimensional, and not a lot of people are bringing that out. He's one dimensional. I'm not saying he's going to knock David Benavidez out. I don't think he knocks out Benavidez. I think he wins this by decision. But I did see people saying that he's going to knock Benavidez out late, and I don't see that happening. I just think this is going to be an 8-4, 9-3 fight for Caleb Plant because David's going to have to learn to adjust in this fight, and I don't think he's going to be able to adjust in this fight.
Well, you know, the one thing that Canelo didn't have that Benavidez will have is and I hate saying this, bro, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, no, Paul, but like, I feel like Canelo's jab isn't what it used to be, man. And Benavidez has one hell of a good jab, although it's not as good as it used to be. In his early 20s, like around that Graville era, I thought he had a better jab, much more crisp, much more. It's still good and it's still thudding and it's still one of his best assets. But I feel like Benavidez has a really nice jab that he's going to be able to utilize, and Canelo didn't really have that, and he's going to have a little bit of a length, or excuse me, a little bit of a reach advantage.
Yeah, but he gets inside Caleb Plant. That reach advantage ain't going to mean nothing. That's
okay. So that's what you're saying. You're saying you're anticipating when Benavidez flashes the jab. That's when you think Plant's going to come in and counter.
Yeah, because he has to puts his hand out, his arm out straight. Because he's a tall fighter, it's not going to really take long. It's going to take a little bit of time for him to readjust that jab. That's when Caleb Plant goes with that footwork, gets inside, counter to the body shot, maybe counter to a body and a head shot like he did against Durrell. Because you look like how he knocked out Durrell. Durrell did try to go for a jab, but then after that, they tried to nail each other with the same punch, but Plant was faster, was able to get to the body, then go for the knockout punch.
All right, so JC has a question here, Drew. He says, wait a minute, based on what you've been saying. He says, first, Drew says we haven't seen enough from David. Then he says David's one-dimensional. How does he know if we haven't seen enough?
Watching fights. What else am I supposed to answer? like, come on, JC. We gotta be more. You gotta ask a better question than that.
Dave here says, Caleb will ask David in a whisper. I'm pretty good, right? I know, right? We'll see. I mean, there's gonna be some jawing in this fight. That's for damn sure. Dude, what's up, David? Are you going to this fight, man? You got credentials? What's going on? Now that you're in Vegas, man, like I'm happy for you. These fights can all just be like right at your doorstep somehow. Too bad, like you can't get somebody like who has a casino job to kind of, I don't know if they give away tickets. There's got to be some way to get a link on people like, casinos that give away tickets. Like, oh man, it'd be sweet to kind of just get in on some fucking nice ass fights like that. No, dude. Here's the other thing too. Like Benavidez, he used to have a pretty good, like, although I wouldn't say it was like connect all the time, but he had a pretty good straight cross. Like he'd have a really crisp, thudding straight jab that was really like offsetting on the other person's timing. Like it was when I would watch the fight, I wouldn't anticipate that he'd be ready to throw the jab and then you just throw it. It's like I haven't really seen that in like the more recent fights of his. But also he had a cross that I thought was pretty good. It didn't always land, but it was something that you could at least show them to where, hey, think twice before just jumping in because you might meet my cross. And he doesn't really throw it like he used to. But like I said, maybe it's because he's been fighting all these underweight dudes, and he hasn't had to. But maybe he's going to be better than ever. He says he's been training like crazy, and then Dave here says that Caleb looks super confident and chill at this week's event so far. He might be too confident. Well, he's definitely confident. That's for damn sure.
And I'll look at it like this. He might be in David Benavidez's head, and if he is, I wouldn't be surprised if David tries to go for the knockout early, and I think it'll be a huge mistake if he does go for a knockout early because it will play right to Caleb's hands.
You think? Okay, so because of the like too much aggression right away, or what?
It'd be too much aggression. Like he comes out being aggressive and everything, it plays right into Caleb Plant's hands. I mean, because it showed that he's in his head. Caleb can control that aggression. Like that's what I think Caleb Plant is doing right now. He's trying to get into his head, and he actually done it.
Did you see the weigh-in?
I didn't see the weigh-in yet. I'm gonna watch it later.
Dude, I thought Benavidez looked dry. He came in at 166.75. That surprised me. He looked kind of dry to me, dude. And then on top of that, they were doing the stare down, right? And then they were jawing, and then Plant stuck his finger right in Benavidez's throat, and then fucking Benavidez got all kinds of heated, but he wasn't able to really do anything effectively back, and then he was being held back. And he's on tilt, bro. Like Benavidez is fucking pissed, bro.
And to come in at 166, I don't. That might be a sign that he's never coming at 166.
Well, that's my thing, bro. Like, okay, I mean, okay, Plant indicated that maybe Benavidez was having trouble with weight or something, right?
Yeah,
Yesterday, and now he's coming in at once. Like, why don't you come in on the dot? Like, wouldn't it benefit you to like, I don't know, unless you're trying to prove a point, like, oh look, I'm so damn in shape that But bro, he was chugging the water, bro. Before they even met up, like, okay, they did dude. He jumped on the scale right away. Plant weighed in, and Benavidez came on right after. Boom, weighed in, went to the back. He had a bunch of people around him, right? I don't know what was going on, but he was probably chugging some water. Went towards the front, was still drinking fluids, right? Did the stare down, went back to his water. Like the rehydration has already started, and it started at like 1:30. So I mean, I don't know, man. Like if he's flat, that's why I'm picking Plant, but it's only because I think Benavidez might be flat tomorrow. I think if it was the best Benavidez we've seen against the best Plant we've seen, I would favor Benavidez. But then again, people are saying that Breadman's doing some magical things and Plant's learning some new fundamentals, and he's doing this now. He's doing that better. So maybe there's a version of Plant that's better that we haven't seen yet. I'm not sure if that's true, but based on the information that we have, I'm anticipating a flat Benavidez tomorrow, and I anticipate an upset. But if Benavidez won, I would not be surprised.
like this might be a sign of that he overtrained.
Right, bro. That's what I was thinking, dude. I think he might have peaked, bro. He says he's been training for like 4 months and shit. And it's like, if you hate this guy and you've been training, and it's just, I don't know, man. But who knows, dude? We're going to know tomorrow. I think the first round, man. We'll see how Benavidez comes out. If he's not jabbing right away and it looks like he's just taking a sweet ass fucking time, like, I'm telling you, man, it could be a long night for Benavidez, especially if Plant banks to the body early. If he starts just cracking that body, what up, D-Style, man? We're just talking about this fight. I don't know if you saw the weigh-in, man, but you're welcome to jump on if you like, brother. We're just talking. We're about to close it up here in just a second, but we know D-Style has Benavidez by late KO. I don't know if you saw the weigh-in, but Benavidez looked pretty dry to me, man.
Let's look at it like this. People are questioning Caleb's gas tank. They got to question Davis' gas tank, too, because he's on borrowed time at 168. And if he's coming in dry like this, that's really concerning right now. Especially if this goes late, he might be the one that gasses out.
Yeah. No, dude, I think it's really possible, man. So are you going to put any money on this, Drew? I know you were talking, right now the odds, they've shrunk just a little bit. So right now Caleb Plant's at a plus 260. So for every $10 you bet, you get $26 plus your $10 back. So, I mean, still more than 2-1 on your money, Drew. Are you putting any money down on this fight?
I'll probably figure it out by tomorrow if I'm going to put any money by this. But never know. If I put money on it, I might just put the Plant KO.
Shit. Dude, you'd probably make some good money on that one, brother.
Never know. Some people are picking Plant by KO. I pick by decision. But be honest with you, if the body, if we'll find out if he goes to the body, he can't take it, we could see a stoppage.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we're gonna close it up. But one last thing, real quick. It goes. Drew didn't see the weigh-in, then he hasn't seen enough. Man, JC's always busting your chops, Philly.
Yeah, JC has, but I laugh at him because he asked a stupid question already today.
Well, we love JC, man. He brings a lot of personality to our chats. I know you like him too when he goes to the shoe shine. Come on, Drew. We know this.
Yeah, at least he's not an emotional one.
That's right. JC's always seen things the way we see them as far as that's concerned. That's for damn sure. Remy here says that Benavidez has been doing military deadlifts, which are good for uppercuts and power punching. You know what? Yeah, Benavidez has a really good uppercut too. That's something else I did not acknowledge when I was breaking down this fight. But Benavidez, he's got a nice arsenal. Volume. That's going to be the key. That's what I think.
Yeah, but like we're gonna see it, Willie, because like you guys say he looked dry at the weigh-in. I really doubt this his punch count is gonna. I really doubt his punch count will be high if he looks dry. Like Benavidez throws a lot of punches. If you see him throwing maybe 40 punches in the round, that's like a lot. That's like lower than his average output. Then we might have an issue.
Like, want to give a shout out to Puro Sur, who's in the house. What's up, man? Enjoy the fight tomorrow. And then D-Style has a cheap plug for last night's roundtable that had Ernesto Amador. I was talking about that earlier, man. He was dropping some serious knowledge on us, man. So, yeah, dude. Drew, great breakdown, man. Like, I can see it both ways. Any final thoughts on this fight before we close it up?
Yeah. Well, tell you the truth, I can't. If Caleb Plant wins this fight and he becomes Canelo's mandatory, I just don't want people getting on saying, I don't want to see this fight when we're seeing a John Ryder fight.
I've heard people say that, like, oh, Benavidez should win because I don't want to see the Plant versus Canelo rematch. But, I mean, if Plant's the better man, then he's the better man. And on top of that, too, bro, like, that fight was competitive. I went back and I watched it. Like I said, like, you know what? Plant did a damn good job. He didn't win the fight. I didn't have him winning the fight, but, I mean, if some of those rounds were open to interpretation, man, I thought he did a good job, man. And you know what? He wanted to get back up, man. He had no quit in him. He just got clipped and he just couldn't recover. In fact, like, I don't know. Would you think that stoppage was premature, Philly? What do you think?
Tell you the truth, he probably was going to get stopped eventually.
Yeah, it looked like it was over. But I mean, I think he could have got up one more time. He was already making his way up. You could tell he had no quit in him. They did him a favor, but then again, it was a undisputed unification fight.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He didn't want to quit that fight, man. But like, he got walked and everything. It was only a matter of time before he got stopped. It's like no shame in the way he lost, who he lost to and everything. Like, he made $10 million off the fight. And in my opinion, he's still the second best super middleweight at 168.
Well, I was telling Nopal this, man. I'm very impressed with how Caleb Plant can make $10 million and still be hungry. Usually, when you get that type of payday, a fighter can fall off. But this guy made a choice to fight Benavidez after already making that Canelo payday. He still got incredible discipline. Actually, most boxers make me feel like I need to have more discipline in my life,
because he wants the rematch. Like, that's the ultimate. Like, he looked at it like this: if I want a rematch, I'm going to have to beat Benavidez to get that rematch. And tell you the truth, he's fighting the right guy because he beats this guy. This is the so-called boogeyman of the division. People can't say he doesn't deserve a fight against Canelo.
Right. And then JC here wants to know if we're going to see a display of heavy artillery from David. I'm expecting it. I mean, if he's going to win, he's got to start throwing, man. And he's got to throw a lot and early. Just keep throwing, keep countering. He's just got to be busy, man. Everybody says, oh, it's his activity, it's his volume, and he ratchets up and he doesn't tire. Well, if he does that and he doesn't look flat, I expect him to win. But I think he might look flat tomorrow. That's all. Well, Remy here says that certain people had it 5-5 before Canelo knocked out Plant. Weirdos. Dude, there was a lot of people out there who were saying that, man. Some people had Plant up. I'll just tell you, like, Plant did a very good job, but I mean, I had Canelo winning that fight. Canelo was commanding the center of the ring, but he was doing such a good job catching Canelo's, and I'm just talking about Caleb Plant's skill set. He was doing a really good job catching Canelo's shots. Although, man, Canelo looked slow compared to Plant as far as the punches are concerned towards the end. I don't know, man. Like, I think maybe the slippage was already starting there for Canelo just a little bit. Like, he just did not look that fast in that fight. Although he won the fight, and he can still throw chingazos, right, and throw hard, and he still has one hell of a hook. I don't know, man. I just felt like Canelo was just a little too slow. I was surprised. Like Plant didn't have any problem going in there and just catching the shots.
Like if you guys look at it, before he changed trainers and everything, he would go for a jab and then go for the right hook. Now jab and then he goes multiple punches. It's like a 2-3 punch combination, and then he resets. He doesn't do that before. Now he does. He did against Darrell. Now, does he keep doing that? Hopefully, you see that type of game plan again.
Well, to me, dude, I mean, that's a good question. And then the other thing is like, is Plant going to be able to utilize his right hand? Like, I feel like he must be left-handed. Like, I haven't seen him sign autographs or anything, and he's orthodox, right?
Yeah.
But man, I feel like he barely uses his right hand at all.
Don't be surprised if he does something unexpected, like stretch stance or something, or does a different part of a game plan that nobody expects him to do. Because if he does it, maybe it might catch that Benavidez by surprise to have to defend it, and he's not used to defending that way, and it causes an opening for Plant. Because pure boxers, they can switch, and they see holes in the defense. And that let's say if I'm a orthodox fighter, and he knows I'm an orthodox, he doesn't see me fighting southpaw and everything, he's gonna defend like he's defending an orthodox fighter. So the smart thing would do, if I can switch to southpaw, is gonna make him have to second guess himself, and when I have to switch defense positions to defend a southpaw or an orthodox fighter, because I have to know what the hand is coming. When it's a southpaw, you gotta look out for the left hand because the right hand is usually the jab punch, and the left hand with the orthodox thing. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the thing. Like we could see some new tricks. That's the one thing that Plant was saying is that Breadman has been getting him back to some fundamentals that Plant's dad had wanted Plant to get back to, right? And he says like, yeah, he's been reiterating some things that I used to be able to implement, or I just don't think about, like maybe a lot of fundamental type stuff. Also, there's a lot of sparring that he's doing. He could be the best version of Plant that we've ever seen. I think it's very possible. I think it's admirable that he stuck with his original trainer up until the Canelo fight, and then the switch happened. I don't know why exactly it happened, but there's a chance that maybe the first trainer, I mean, I'm not saying this is the reason he got cut loose, and I'm not saying he should have been cut loose, but when you come up with your original trainer, like he only knows what he knows, like, but there might be those higher level trainers that can show you a lot. And if you already have somebody who's already got a really great skill set, like Caleb Plant, I mean, he's one of the best 168 pounders in the world, no matter how you look at it. He's one of the best. If you already have somebody who's like that, you just got to fine tune some of that stuff. And if you're a coach at a different level, you might be able to bring that out, especially in their second fight together. You know what I mean?
Here's a fact right here, and I think it's going to happen. Loser of this fight moves up to light heavyweight.
I think Benavidez might have to move up, dude. Like, I know he's trying to stay at 168, but it's to his detriment at this point, I believe. But then again, if you can make the weight, then you know what's best. But it's not like Canelo doesn't fight at light heavyweight. And light heavyweight is, in my opinion, a little bit more. I mean, I think we all agree it's more of a respectable historical weight division.
Yeah, it could be. It can be because it does have more legitimate fighters at that division. It has a lot of good fights up there. You have Beaver, you got Petrov, you got Kim Smith, Joe Smith. Yeah, you got guys up there that can really make good fights, and any of these fights with Benavidez will probably be a good fight.
Definitely here. JC says that he thinks David is going to suffocate Plant. That Mexican style pressure breaks down dudes mentally. Yep, that's what he's got to do. And JC is being responded to by Remy, and Remy says that the Mexican Ecuadorian Dominican style, the Mexican Ecuadorian Dominican American monster. I know, right? I mean, who knows? Who knows with Benavidez? He's going through. It's funny. He's like, oh, they're announcing him like no one knows the Mexican monster. I'm like, well, he just started that one. I mean, that's okay though. I mean, it's better than the red flag. I don't know if it was on D Styles' channel, but somebody asked him like why he had that one and why he had that nickname. He's like, oh well, somebody just suggested it, so I said okay. I'm like, that's fucking stupid. The red flag. I mean, and then later on he was like, well, because when people wave the white flag, it'll actually be dipped in your blood or some stupid shit like that. But I mean, the name change needed to happen. I don't mind the Mexican Monster, but the thing is you got to be dominant. Like you can't be the Mexican Monster and start taking L's. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You got to keep winning. It's good for now.
Here's the thing. Hi, I'm the red flag. How you doing?
Oh,
I'm gonna dip my white flag in the red. Call me red flag.
he used to be a blood. I'm not sure if you're being funny or not, JC, but I mean,
Jesus Christ.
I'm not sure if you're being funny or not. Well, he did. I do think it's interesting that him and his family moved out of Phoenix, right? They like completely left. The whole family just left. I know they go there for hometown fights, but they live in Seattle now, right? So that's one hell of a climate change too. And it's like, to me, it kind of feels like we need to get out of Dodge. And I know his brother got shot in the leg, right? Maybe they were mixed up. JC, if you can give us some details on that, I'm not sure if you're being funny or not. And then Benavidez says he's down to fight Bivol next. Well, I mean, if you can't get Canelo, that would be good.
He'll get his ass kicked by Bivol.
Well, I think Bivol beats everybody around him. So it would be no exception, I mean, Bivol is the goods. Except for maybe Canelo, but that's a whole nother story.
He's done it already.
Yeah, but it's you know what? Like, I just think there's a chance that adjustments can be made. That's all. That's a whole other subject for the future. All right, man. Well, we're going to sign off. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us. This was the Chicano Prophet in the house, along with No Paul and Philly Irish Drew Evil. We are out. Peace.